Steve Wilson from Anita Goodesign. And in the last video you saw Rachel really give you some insight into how she created and did the drawings for the art quilts. Now I want to really show you the techniques I used when I digitized them. A lot of designs, and you can see the artwork here that she just created on screen, a lot of designs I've done in the past use different stitch types like satin stitches and fill stitches, and I combine those with really hand digitized techniques to give them realism and a realistic look. This is the first collection I think I've ever done where every single stitch is done completely by hand. That means if there's 10,000 stitches in the design, I actually place those with 10,000 points. So I actually digitize on a tablet. So I'm going to zoom in here on the section of the angel's wing. And I'm going to choose a running stitch, which is the only stitch I used for these designs. And you'll see using my pen the way I'm drawing in each of those stitches. Now you might be thinking this seems like a lot of work to do this design, and it is, but I wanted these to be really artistic and not have any automatic features in them. So if you notice right here, I'm just drawing honestly like you would draw with a pencil, but I'm drawing with thread. And with each of these stitches, I'm giving the wings a neat feathered look. So you can see what I did so far, just a few stitches, and if I turn those into 3D, you kind of see that in here. And I'm doing them black on white, obviously so you can see them. And I would just keep going in there and feathering layer upon layer of thread. And this is my favorite style of digitizing because it really lets you see how things get created from scratch. It starts out with just thread and it winds up being a beautiful design. Now of course using a tablet like this does make it a little bit faster than if I was using a trackball or a mouse. But at the end of the day, each of these designs takes almost a full day's work to create, and you'll see what I just did now. And if I hide the image, you see it's just that little bit of feathers right there. Now like a cooking show, I'd already actually digitized this design, so I'm going to bring in all the colors, and you can see that really right here. And this is all the steps that have been done. So what I want to do is actually show this to you played in slow motion and show you how it's done step by step. So what it does first is these are your tacking stitches for your appliques. Now you can see it really going in here. Let me slow it down a hair, and doing the quilting stitches. The fascinating part about these designs is that the quilting stitches, in a lot of them, have different design elements in them. They're not just stippling or contour stitching. This one has stars and different swirls built in. Other ones have dolphins or turtles or different elements. You'll see now I'm doing the applique stitches for the wing, and then we at that point place our fabric on top of it. And now you see the stitch shading that I'm doing right here. And you can kind of see how it's coloring in little step by step, just like you would with a colored pencil. And right now it's the light blue. And this time-lapsed way it runs is pretty cool. Now you're seeing me do the shading in white right on top of the blue. And again, those different colors create a lot more depth and dimension. And now you're going to see it outline the wing. Now a lot of times with quilting designs, you'll see the outline done as just a 2-ply or a single-ply stitch. With these, I wanted to make it look really like it was sketched or free motion quilted. So I did, it's generally a 5 to a 7-ply, but not exactly the same every time. The key was to have it get a sketched look. And once this is done drawing, I'll zoom in on the outline. Now you just saw the dress being shaded and outlined, and the face detail and all the different colors in the hair. Now keep in mind every single stitch was placed one stitch at a time. So it really will look artistic and like it was hand done. Now it's doing the halo and the candles and really the last minute details. Now if I zoom in, show you one more thing here, onto the wing, you can see up close the amount of detail that's in there. Now you can see the outline in here, and when I'm zoomed in, 1200% here, it might look like not perfect, and that's essentially the idea. The idea is to make it look a certain way. Now this one, if I show you how I do the outline, it's almost like, like a staggered stitch is what I call it. And I would do it just like you would charcoal pencil something. And this is what really gives it the expression and the extra detail, not just a perfect outline around something. You can see what I just did right there. Zoomed out actual size, you don't notice it, that every line's not perfect. But at the end of the day, the art quilts will look completely artistic, look like they were done by hand, and really will be a piece of art that you can hang on your wall when they're finished. The next step is we're going to show you one of this design actually stitching out, and then we're going to show the project actually being created.